Hello everyone and welcome. Today I would like to discuss with you the harsh realities of concentrated animal feeding operations known as CAFOs. Now the main points that I will be discussing are how CAFOs are unethical, inhumane towards animals, hazardous to the environment, and hazardous to our own health. Now while you're eating your favorite hamburgers, chicken, or pork chops, you probably seldom stop to think about where these foods originate. If you do, a small family farm may come to mind. But that traditional picture is changing with the trend towards large corporate agricultural operations. These particular organizations are agricultural facilities that perform industrial-sized livestock operations that house and feed an extremely high number of animals at one time, such as cows, hogs, and chickens. These organizations are extremely unethical and inhumane and need to be more regulated with fewer animals, cleaner buildings, and more humane operations. Now imagine yourself as a pig located at one of these CAFOs, and you're standing in your own feces shoulder to shoulder with other pigs, not being able to move, breathe, sitting there waiting for a worker to drop a pile of food in front of you until the day you grow fat enough for butcher and you are taken away and slaughtered. Sounds like a great life, huh? Unfortunately, this does occur every day at our local CAFOs. Now let's talk about the basic information of feeding organizations today. They can hold anywhere from hundreds to millions of animals at one time. These animals are confined to at least 45 days or more per year in an area without pasture or vegetation. CAFOs include open feedlots and massive windowless buildings where livestock are confined in small boxes or stalls. According to Dr. Fox, a well-recognized veterinarian and president of the New York Humane Society, states that these CAFOs are a prime example of our inhumanity. He has studied the effects of these feeding operations and has found that animals are subject to great amounts of suffering. For example, breeding sows in crates over and over again can cause extreme physical constraint, lameness, arthritis, stress, and distress. Also, feedlot beef cattle can have lack of shade and shelter, lameness, and foot rot, and liver disease from improper diets as well. Feeder chickens are also important. They can be subject to extreme overcrowding, lameness, cannibalism, and also something known as keel-over heart failure from rapid growth. They also suffer from eye problems, including blindness from poor ventilation. Dr. Fox stated that the main areas and procedures that need addressed are castrations, brandings, and dehorning cattle without anesthetic. Obviously, these poor animals are being subject to harsh living conditions, causing many complications for them. But unfortunately, that's not the entire issue when discussing CAFOs. The awful effects of these CAFOs not only include animal cruelty, but also major public health problems as well. Most health problems are derived from widespread air, surface, and groundwater pollution. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, the nation's 238,000 feeding operations produced 500 million tons of manure, with CAFOs accounting for roughly 50% of that number. The manure produced by these organizations cause many complications with the environment and public health. Often, you'll hear owners of CAFO argue that the waste produced by the livestock provide nutrients that help them offset the use of synthetic fertilizers in farm fields. But the sheer amount of waste produced, however, often overwhelms the ability of the land and the crops to absorb the CAFO waste. When the wastes are applied to farm fields, water pollution occurs from over-application of the waste. Direct runoff into surface waters, or by traveling through the ground and through field tiles, or drainage ditches, or that discharge directly into surface waters. Tests have shown that waste applied to the surface of a field can take a total of 45 minutes, can take a little as 45 minutes to reach the field tiles 3 to 4 feet below the surface. In an endangered species bulletin by Kevin Stubbs, CAFOs are often overclustered and local watersheds can be overloaded with nutrients and other contaminants from discharges and runoff. The waste from the animal feeding operations is degrading water quality and air quality in many areas of the country. Another study done by the Michigan chapter of the Sierra Club has found that the amount of waste produced by the smallest CAFO is equivalent to the quantity of waste produced by 16,000 humans. They also have found that there are over 168 gases that are emitted from CAFO waste, including hazardous chemicals such as ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and methane. The waste facilities at our local CAFOs are usually not treated to reduce disease-causing pathogens, nor to remove chemicals, heavy metals, or other pollutants. What I think is funny is that these large CAFO companies will spend millions of dollars on technologies that make it possible to produce massive quantities of milk, eggs, and meat, yet they resist investing in technologies and practices to properly treat the waste that is produced from this. The bottom line is that CAFOs are unethical, inhumane, and harmful to the environment. I believe that we can find a way to better the lives of the animals as well as ourselves by placing more regulations on these organizations, such as the amount of animals that are allowed to be kept at these locations, the number of times they can be bred for reproduction, the size of the cages and stalls they are placed in, the amount of antibiotics they are given, and the size of the facilities they use. I believe that if we can make these changes, then we can eventually make a difference. Thank you.